the voice of the guide begins. There are moments in life when a person stops and wonders, why do I keep going through the same struggles? Why do the same patterns keep repeating? Lifetime after lifetime. What most people do not realize is that this feeling is not just about this one life. It is the echo of something much older, far deeper, the great wheel of existence itself. A wheel that turns, without pause, carrying every soul through a cycle that seems unending: birth, death, and rebirth. The guide explains, this is not a metaphor. It is a reality of existence. Every soul is bound to this vast wheel, moving from one life to another, gathering experiences, lessons, joys, and sorrows, yet often returning to the very same mistakes, the same desires, the same attachments. Imagine a river flowing endlessly into the ocean, but instead of merging with the ocean, it mysteriously circles back to its source, over and over again. This is what happens to a soul that has not yet broken free from the cycle. In one life, you may be born in comfort. In another, in hardship. One life might see you surrounded by love. Another filled with loneliness. The settings change. The roles shift. But the underlying patterns, the deep habits of the soul, often remain. The cycle is not random. It is governed by an invisible law, the law of cause and effect. Every thought, every word, every action creates a ripple that will inevitably return. In one life, you plant a seed through your choices. In another, you harvest its fruit. But here lies a subtle trap. Instead of learning the lesson and moving beyond, most souls become more entangled. They react to pain with anger, to loss with fear, to pleasure with attachment. And each reaction plants yet another seed for the next life. Thus, the wheel keeps turning. The listener may wonder, if this is true, why don't I remember my past lives? You do remember, but not in the way you think. The memory is not in your mind. It is in your tendencies, your instincts, your fears, your attractions. That unexplained comfort with certain people, that unshakable fear of certain places, they are the shadows of lives you have lived before. Forgetting is part of the design. If you carried every memory consciously, the burden would be unbearable. And yet, the essence of those memories silently shapes your every choice. If the cycle is a prison, then desire is its lock. Desire is not only the craving for pleasure or wealth, it is the craving for identity, for recognition, for control, for continuation. Even the desire for a better life can bind a soul to return again and again. It is like a golden chain. It may look beautiful, but it is still a chain. Some souls are trapped by obvious cravings, greed, lust, envy. Others are trapped by subtler bonds, the desire to help, the desire to be remembered, the fear of disappearing. Every attachment, no matter how noble it appears, can tie you to the wheel. Many believe that simply living a good life will set them free. But the wheel does not stop because you are kind or generous. It stops only when you have gone beyond the very need to spin on it. The soul is not here simply to accumulate good deeds. It is here to awaken, to realize that it is not the body, not the mind, not the story it tells itself. It is eternal, unchanging beyond birth and death, until this truth becomes unshakable. The loop continues. Breaking the cycle is not about escaping life. It is about understanding it completely. Here are the steps the wise have always known. 1. Self-observation. Watch your thoughts, emotions, and reactions without judgment. The more you observe, the more you see the patterns that keep pulling you back. 2. Detachment. This is not about rejecting the world, but about not clinging to it. Love without possession. Work without obsession. Give without expecting. 3. Inner silence. The wheel spins in noise. To see its motion clearly, you must enter the stillness within through meditation, contemplation, or prayer. Touch the part of you that is untouched by time. 4. Wisdom over instinct. Do not simply react to life. Respond with awareness. Every conscious choice breaks one more link in the chain. 5. Union with the infinite. Ultimately, the cycle ends when the soul merges back with the source from which it came. Like a drop finally realizing it has always been the ocean. When the wheel stops, something extraordinary happens. There is no birth, no death, no rebirth, only existence in its purest form. A peace beyond all imagination. Not the peace of escape, but the peace of completion. You are not a traveler, moving through lifetimes. You are the sky, in which lifetimes appear and disappear. When you know this, not just with the mind, but with the very depth of your being, the will loses its power over you. And then, the endless loop of repetition is no more.